And we're adding the golden straw in there, and we have to blend that. Let's blend it with the orange flame. So we probably have to start with the orange flame because this leaf is more into the orange, and I need a smaller brush. Now we're gonna put in there the golden straw. And blend that with the sienna, burnt sienna. Come on, you have to take the orange because I said so. Okay. Then let's bring some of the red, which I have to put back on my palette. The cinnamon drop is the red. Seeing that the extender is drying too fast. I have the air condition, and that's why everything is drying very fast. But I'm gonna put again the yellow in there, clean the red from my brush. Now it seems more blended in there. I can put a tiny bit in this area. And if I had a picture, but I'm not working from a picture, this would have been easier. This is the orange, the yellow, and we're working with orange, yellow, and the burnt sienna. So if I'd had a picture, I will not be making all these changes. But I am not working from a picture. I am just inventing in here. So I'm going to take the yellow plus the burnt sienna. And it is harder. Oops, that doesn't work in there. It's harder when you are not working from a picture. Trying to make this leaf more lighter than what it was. So that was burnt sienna plus a tiny bit of yellow, and make that list. Okay, let's put a tiny bit of burnt sienna in here. Okay, so I'm gonna let it dry again. There's not that much that I'm gonna do in here. Okay, I am very happy with the color that it has now, but I wanna see a tiny bit more the vein lines, so I'm gonna strengthen the vein lines, and I'm going to also put some darker areas with putting the extender. I'm gonna put darker areas with the soft black. So I'm going to take soft black And oops, it was not completely dry, I think. Okay, I'm just gonna take soft black, and you know what happened, that I removed some of the color with the extender. So I'm going to carefully take soft black and make some areas darker, very carefully. And I'm gonna let it dry naturally. So that's the soft black, and I'm putting some darker areas with the soft black, and I'm going to also put some darker areas with the rosette plus the red, making a darker red. And tiny bit of the yellow, and then I'm gonna let it dry. Let's see, I'm gonna put the lines, the vein lines, and let it dry. And that's gonna conclude this painting. I want to create the atmosphere of wind going on in here, so I'm gonna use this brush. Is called Filbert Grenier, and I'm just gonna make this is Mississippi mud, and I'm just gonna make lines have to put some water in. I have to put some water in the paint, and then it's going to work. So I'm making movement in here. That didn't work, so if it doesn't work, I'm not an expert with this type of brush. So let's see if I have the right consistency. From one of our artists, she said that when you have the right consistency, you're supposed to do put the brush. So I'm just going to mix the right consistency in here, and then I'm gonna. She said when you have the right consistency, you should be able to do like this, and the paint will. I don't have enough. Let me do enough in here. Okay, let me make this. Okay, when you have the right consistency, you should be able to, if you separate, it will come back. Good. So that we know that we have the right consistency. Let's see, like this. Put it all together. And if you separate it, it comes back. Okay, so we have the right consistency. So I'm gonna load the brush, and I'm gonna do movement of the wind. So I'm trying to create the movement of the wind. So I'm gonna do that in that color. Now I'm gonna prepare burlap, which is a lighter color. If you don't like something, you can clean it instantly. But be careful because you're going to remove also the lower section because this is a very, very soft layer, very transparent layer. So I'm going to take a little time to prepare the other color, and I will be right back. And let this dry in between. Putting some in here. If you don't like it, since this is so light, you can clean anything that you don't like. So now that I have these, I'm going to put some sticks. This is the same color, Mississippi mud. Okay, then we are going to also find the darker color that we're using here. Okay, liner and burnt umber. Twigs. This is some darker color. Not only leaves, you can also have some other things falling down. and other things can also be inside that wind. Okay, and you can also take some of that pebbles, and if you want to, so that they're not just one color. Okay, let's put another one in here. Okay, so now that we have these, we can do, I'm gonna dry these, and we are going to also add I'm going to also antique the edges. So I added soft black with a tiny bit of extender and a tiny bit of dark chocolate, and I'm gonna use that to tint the edges. Soft black and the extender, the black extender and dark chocolate. And I am also be doing it on the edges. Try not to, it is grabbing to my wood in there. So what I'm gonna do is put a stick or something in there. Yours probably will not do that. Need a bit more in here, and that will be it. This is optional. You do it if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. Gonna take the liner with that mixture, and you can also put some sticks in there if you don't like what you have. The good thing about the extender is that it doesn't dry fast, so you're supposed to be able to clean it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have I'm gonna put a tiny bit more of this, with the name Mississippi mud in here. I think probably I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay, so I dried it with blower hair dryer, and now I'm gonna put a coat of glazing, medium, and then I'm going to try a different technique. If I don't like it, I will leave it like that, but I'm gonna try to do a different technique, but I want to put a coat of glazing so that it doesn't damage what I have done so far. Okay, so let it cool, because it's right now it's a tiny bit hot because of the blower. So let it cool, and then put a glazing medium, let it dry, and then we'll do the next technique. Okay, so here it is. The next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna dry brush some burlap. So I'm putting burlap in my brush, and I am removing most of it in here, and then I am applying it on the piece. That is going to soften this a tiny bit. So burlap. That's probably too strong in there. If it is too strong, you can wipe it. Although it is good that it looks that something is in there. I think it looks a tiny bit messy, so I'm gonna take one of the colors from the background, which was coral shell, and lightly, this is too white. Let's take a different color. Let's add a tiny bit of orange flame with the coral shell. Orange flame and coral shell. Let's see if this is better. This is better. So I'm just gonna lightly put this color in here and make this less messier. Sometimes you can put more of the orange color in flame. And if you lost all the beautiful sticks and you want to see them more, you can also the sticks strengthen some of the sticks. Which I'm gonna do as soon as I do this glaze. Let's see. I'm going to take a liner. I have some leftover in here of that mixture that I did with the black and the milk chocolate, the soft black and the milk chocolate, and I'm going to let some of them show. Let's take some dark chocolate, dark chocolate, so that we can have some that are not as dark.